What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Gracefully Speaking. So the topic at hand today is the trauma bond within. And I chose this topic for today because, one, I wanted to do a little bit of self-disclosure. And two, the last few years, I've kind of just been on, I would call it my peace journey. Because I'm just really at a place of peace in my life for the most part. Like I can say I'm honestly, genuinely happy. Not because in anything that anyone has done for me or anything that's like super spectacular is going on, but just because I've taken the time in the last few years to really work on me, mind, body, and soul and spirit, and work through a lot of my issues and be very intentional about my healing. And over the last week, I was really thinking about my most toxic relationship I've ever had in my 33 years of living. And that toxic relationship was the one that I had with myself. And I say it is my most toxic relationship that I have ever had, and the hardest one I've ever had to work through, because I've dealt with rejection, denial, self-image, pain, trauma, letting go, like trying to figure out who I was, my purpose, just everything. I've grieved in this relationship, like almost anything you can think of in this relationship, I have probably experienced it. And when we talk about trauma bonds, I don't think people ever really think about the trauma bond that they have with themselves. And I choose to say the trauma bond within because I literally had a trauma bond with my pain. For so long, I was so comfortable with holding on to my pain. My pain became a comfort blanket. Like when it came to certain things, I didn't know how to look at life or certain situations without the lens of pain or the expectation of rejection or trauma. Like I didn't know how to see beyond those things, because in certain situations, I guess I felt like I never experienced anything outside of that. So I walked into some relationships with the expectation of something negative to happen. And because I walked in with the expectation of something negative happening, you already know, negative things happen. So when they happen, it only validated what I already felt about myself at that moment. Like, what did I do? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. Because how they treated me, it validated what I really felt internally, because I didn't know how to look at life or look at relationships or friendships outside of my pain and expectation of receiving pain. Even though I was given love. But I was given love from a broken place. And trying to love from a broken place is so dangerous, yet so many people do it. They parent from a broken place. They love from a broken place. They try to befriend others from a broken place. Like, some people try to fix other people because they themselves are broken. And that is so dangerous. Yet it's a conversation that we act like we don't want to have, or we fail to acknowledge, because so many people are walking through life with a lens of pain, anguish, and sorrow that they don't know how to fathom the idea of having peace and joy in their life. Like, they'll settle for a relationship with someone that don't make them completely happy, all for the simple fact that it's the expectation that you can't have what you really want or what you really deserve, because we put it out there like a relationship or a marriage is nothing beyond a contract when you can break the contract. Sometimes it might be consequences, but how much is your peace worth? What are you really willing to sacrifice and walk away from in order to gain your peace? How much of your trauma are you willing to work through and let go of just for the sake of your peace? So many people fail to experience peace in life and peace in their relationships, and peace at work, and peace in friendships because they don't know how to let go of their trauma, whether it be their trauma bond with someone else or the trauma that they experience within themselves. Like, it's a bond that can be broken, but you have to put in the work. Yet no one wants to do the work because no one wants to get uncomfortable, especially getting uncomfortable with themselves. No one wants to look in the mirror and count out their own mistakes and their failures or the things that are actually wrong with them so that they can fix it and be right. So they can fix it and feel good about life and themselves. We get so comfortable with the blanket of pain, the blanket of anxiety, and the blanket of anguish, and the blanket of sorrow and grief. Like, we don't know how to move past it, so we settle in life. We settle for mediocre. Why be happy just one day when you can be happy every day? Don't just love on yourself today. Love on yourself every day. Work through your traumas and the things that have pained you in life so that you are not so easily triggered by things that you should have healed from by now. You can't heal the things that you don't talk about. And that's one of the things that were so comforting to me. My own secrets within, my own pain that I was holding on the inside. Like, some things I didn't realize how much I had held on to them until I started writing again. And when I started looking at my own words on the paper, I realized just how much I had not let go. I realized just how much certain things had impacted me and how bad certain people really made me feel. And I also learned just how broken that I was. And I knew I was broken because I was complicit in how I let men treat me. I knew I deserved better. I knew I was worthy, but because I was content with sitting in a place of brokenness, it was, it's okay, He said he loved me. It's cool, but that's not love. Like, love doesn't feel like that. And I've had people do some horrible things to me. Horrible. But when you don't love yourself enough, you accept mediocre behavior. You accept shitty behavior. You accept piss poor behavior. Because although it's really wrong, it's a part of you that feels validated in the fact that you still have somebody there. But you already have your own trauma that you're dealing with or not dealing with. Why would you want to welcome somebody into your space if they're only going to compound onto that pain and that anguish? If you're already dealing with rejection, why would you allow somebody in your space that's only going to reject your love or reject you, in your feelings. Like they disregard how you feel. You tell them they hurt your feelings and they shut it down. Why would you want to be with somebody who denies you affection? I don't know. Those are questions that I really had to ask myself. Like, over time, like I learned to stop looking at other people, and I had to really look at myself and hold myself accountable. Like, what is really wrong with you, Tisa Lachey Harris? Like, what is really broken in you that you would allow certain behavior from family, friends, people that you date, whatever the case may be? What is so broken in you that you lost your voice to a point where you couldn't even voice your pain in any way? My pain and my trauma bond was so thick that I really stopped fighting, period. I stopped coping. And at some point, I know I was really just on autopilot. Like, I was just going through everyday motions, but I wasn't really living. Like, I was just on autopilot. The shell of who I was looked like, I was happy, I was functioning, but on the inside, God knows I was crumbling. I was spiraling. Like I was hurting in the worst way. For so long, I wept every single night. I cried myself to sleep. And I cried and I cried and I cried until I found the strength to tell myself, I'm not crying anymore. I have to do something different. What's wrong? And so I had to take a hard look at myself and start identifying the things that I knew was wrong. I had to be realistic and intentional in my healing. I had to call things for what they were that had happened to me. I had to acknowledge the fact that I had been molested. I had to acknowledge the fact that a person who had no business putting their hands on me, was supposed to be somebody that I trust, told me I was wrong when I told him no. I had to address the fact that hurt me and it did something to me, yet I never spoke about it. I had to learn to put a voice to my pain because silence was not working, because my silence was literally killing me. And there's so many people out here that are too complacent with being unhappy when you don't have to be unhappy in life. You don't have to walk around with that security blanket of pain. When you're ready, you can drop the security blanket and work on building you a blanket of happiness. You don't have to just have a good day. You can have good days. You don't have to just have a nice moment. You can have moments. You can have a nice life. You can have a peaceful life. Your life isn't intended to be lived through pain and sorrow. You got to learn to work through your pain and your issues so you can stop looking through the lens of pain and anguish and despair. Because if you look through life that way, you will never see the beauty of the blessings that God has truly gave us. You will never really be able to embrace unconditional love as long as you're looking through life with the expectation that everybody is going to hurt you. If you look through those lenses of pain and despair and distrust and disloyalty, you're always going to have the expectation that someone is going to treat you that very same way. So you have to learn to work through your issues so that you can see life through a place of love and happiness and peace. Because peace is priceless. There is no amount of money that can pay for peace. But all the work that you put into your healing will give you all the peace that you need, but you have to really, really work at it. You have to be intentional about working through your issues. You have to be intentional about your healing. You have to be intentional about calling things what they are. You have to be intentional in putting a voice to the things that hurt you. You have to be intentional in holding people accountable when they hurt you or make you angry or disrespect you. And you certainly have to be strong enough to choose you and walk away from the things and people that mean you no good. And you most certainly have to be strong enough and willing to look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable. Because when it comes to the trauma bond within, there is nobody in this world that can help you fix that but you. You have to be willing to address your issues and hold yourself accountable. You have to be willing to work through everything it is that you have been through in life. And my goodness, you have to be willing to let things go. I didn't say forget, but you have to be willing to let things go and walk away. Forgive yourself. My God, we got to learn how to forgive ourselves, because some people cannot move forward in life because they're still punishing themselves for something that happened to them or something that happened to someone else that they feel like they are at fault for. And you can't. You can't move forward as long as you're sitting in the past, focused on a moment. Life will pass you by if you get stuck in a moment. It is so much life to be lived, but you have to be willing to live it. You have to be ready to live it. Don't just be surviving. Don't just be existing. Turn autopilot off and live. Work through your issues. Get some help. And if you have people in your corner or in your circle or whatever it is that you have, a little dot, whatever you want to call it, if they are not contributing to your growth and elevation as a man or a woman, you really need to let them go. You need to find your tribe in life. Don't let history keep you bound to people or situations that mean you no good. If that relationship is not benefiting you, walk away. If that friendship is not benefiting you, walk away. If that job is not benefiting you, walk away. Nothing is worth your peace of mind. Peace is priceless, yet so valuable. And we spend too much time holding on to things and people because we feel like we are bound to them or we're obligated to them because of our history, when really is a trauma bond. We are stuck to people and situations because the pain is similar. We can identify with each other's discomfort. We can identify with each other's dissatisfaction. We can't let our own pain go because we've content with being unhappy. We've grown content with the fact that we don't like the way that, we look in the mirror. We'll complain about our self-image and what we don't like about our body, but we won't do anything about it. If you don't like it, fix it. Stop denying yourself the chance to be happy. Stop telling yourself that you're not worthy and start telling yourself that you're more than enough. Stop expecting rejection and expect to be embraced, because you're more than deserving of being loved and loved unconditionally. And if you have people in your life that only claim to love you only under the conditions that you be who they want you to be, or you do what they want you to do, let them go. Walk away. It may hurt, but that's fine. Because for every person that you think that you've lost, I can assure you God is going to give them back to you in somebody greater. He's never going to take anything away from you and not give it back to you in abundance. But sometimes he can't give us the things that we need because we're too busy holding on things that are unhealthy for us or things that we think we want. And sometimes the things that we think that we want are a direct link to our pain and our trauma bond within ourselves. So let it go. Because I promise you, the moment that you learn to let it go, God is going to send you exactly who you need and what you need. It may not come exactly when you want it, but when you least expect it, it's going to show up right on time. And you're not going to question it because it was God sent. So, because I found the strength to break my trauma bond within myself, I know that you can break the trauma bond within. I know you have the capacity to find your healing. I know you have the capacity to walk away from people and things that mean you no good. I know you have the capacity to elevate in life and find your peace and find your joy and do the things that make you happy in this world. You don't have to settle. You don't have to settle in life. Your peace should not be a compromise. Your peace is not up for debate. Love yourself and know that you are worthy. Work through your issues. Pick your head up. You are more than enough. And you have all the tools that you need to break your trauma bonds.